Hey everybody, Brian Tro coming to you from Mossy Creek Fly Fishing with your fly fishing forecast. The date for today is Tuesday, the 2nd of January, 2024. So Happy New Year everybody. It's been a little over a week since I've given a report. So I just want to say Merry Christmas again and Happy New Year to everyone. Great news, keep getting rain, right? That's what we've been talking about. So since I talked to you all last, there was another big storm that came through, and just 1 week after the next. These storms are changing. They're coming up the coast more. They're bringing more moisture with them. So depending on where you are in the western part of Virginia, some places are still in drought, but it's a moderate drought and it's getting better by the week. And some places have crawled out of drought, okay? But we're certainly not in severe drought anymore. For example, a lot of these storms coming up the coast, they're bringing a little bit more rain in to the Blue Ridge, especially the eastern slopes of the Blue Ridge. And so some of the streams in the park on the east side, the Conway, places like that, the Rapidan, they're gonna have a little bit more water than some places a little further west. But all in all, it's been really, really good. We've been getting out of this thing, and it looks like even more weather to come. So cool, cold, seasonable the next few days, some nights in the 20s, some nights in the teens. It's gonna be pretty cold, a couple days where it's 44, 45 degrees. And then it looks like potentially our first major snow. Big snowstorm of the season coming up this weekend. We'll see. Still quite a ways off, but so far they're talking about coastal storm again, but cold air in place this time. So it looks like we're going to get a little bit of snow, which is really great for getting out of drought. It's not great for, driving up into the mountains and fishing, but we've got these great spring creeks and these freestone streams down here in the valley floor that you should be able to get to. So let's just talk a little bit about winter fishing in general. Since it is one of the coldest, historically the coldest weeks of the year, this week, next week, it's going to be nice and chilly. Pick your battles, as I always say. Pick your warmer hours. We've got ice off paste here in the shop that can really help you keep ice from building up like crazy. One thing that I like to do, I wear wool fingerless gloves when I guide this time of year, is I like to get those hand warmer packs. And what I'll do is I'll slip them in on top of inside my glove, on top of my hand. Warms all the blood going up to your fingers. Your fingertips really are the hardest part in fly fishing to kind of keep warm. So that's a nice little trick that'll buy you extra time on the water. I fish a little closer to the vehicle this time of year, keep some warm coffee and stuff in there. You can always run back to the truck, retreat a little bit and warm up. So there's lots of ways to get out there and enjoy it. Fish slower, fish deeper. We have all this extra rain and flow, some of these streams. So the fish are going to be down in those deep pools, sitting close to the bottom, pretty lethargic. So bring your split shot with you, bring your tungsten jig nymphs with you. Some of these flies and techniques have been too heavy for the last couple months, but you're going to need them now. And really just work the water, cover the water. One thing that I like to do is not only are you making sure you're down deep enough on the bottom, so if you're fishing indicators, making sure you're constantly checking the depth and changing the depth. But I'll switch back and forth between color schemes this time of year. I'll put on some natural looking nymphs, some jigged hare's ears, pheasant tails, something that's black, brown, buggy looking. And if I've been fishing for an hour, haven't had many bites, haven't had much luck, then I'll switch over to a tractor fly, something with a hot pink in it, something with orange in it, something that might just trigger them. If you get a bite on your brightly colored strike indicator, that's a clue as well that maybe they just want something with a little bit more color to it. So get out there and enjoy. So good news from the North River delayed harvest, which is not too far from Harrisonburg here, just southwest of Harrisonburg, west of Stanton. Awesome stretch of water, mile of water between Elkhorn Lake and Stanton Reservoir. That's been stocked and opened up for the year. All right, that's a fan favorite. It's a little bit of a drive. It's a little bit of a hike. So for those of you who like to get away a little bit, if you haven't been there, North River delayed harvest is awesome. And it's just been too low. And they finally got a good shot of water, and water levels are good, so they're up. So I believe pretty much all the delayed harvests in the state are stocked, not only in the western part of the state, but also the urban ones that they stock, like closer to Northern Virginia. I think they're all open and ready to go. The state does it a little different some years, from one year to the next, but typically they won't announce the additional stockings. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but the way delayed harvests work in Virginia typically in a normal year is they get stocked in the fall, This year that was a little bit later because of drought. And then they'll do like a late winter stocking, and then they'll do an early spring stocking. So they usually get stocked 3 times. And then of course they open up for harvest in June. So you've got months and months and months to go and enjoy these fisheries where people are not supposed to be catching them and keeping them, which means that you can drive there knowing that the fish are in the stream. And when they first get put in, you want your high-vis stuff, your egg patterns, your squirmy worms. They love eating those things, but the longer they're in the stream, the more they're gonna key into natural stuff. They're gonna start focusing on stoneflies because that's what they have to eat right now. They're gonna start eating small little midges and blueing olives. So how quickly that happens, it all depends on a million different variables, but that's just kind of how things go. They get a little bit more conditioned, as we say. So compared to a few weeks ago, we're doing a lot better. We got water in these creeks. The brook trout streams have water in them. A good snow would really help out. They're great. You get a good snowpack up there. You get 8, 9, 10, 12 inches of snow. And then every day it's above freezing. A little bit of it drips into the system, and then it locks back up at night. And then the next day it loses more. So it's like just awesome. It's almost like getting rain every day for 10 days, but we don't have to deal with the rain. So we should benefit from that. So for those of you who love going up and fishing high in the mountains, you might want to try and get that in this week because it gets really, really challenging once we get snowpack and ice and everything up there. Same with the places like the North River Delayed Harvest, okay? Those are all fire roads and forest roads. They don't get plowed. And if they get driven on, it gets packed down and all the north sides of those roads start to get really difficult to navigate. So if you can get up there and fish up high in the mountains before this first shot of snow, if it comes, now's a good time to do that. Fishing the larger rivers, the bigger rivers are in good shape. Musky fishing is, tough when it's this cold, but they'll bite. So you just get out there and put the time in. It's all about putting the time in, covering water, doing your figure eights when the watercolor's off, gridding the river. Like I always say, grid the river out, making sure you've got the right sinking line, the right combination of fly and line, so you're covering the contours of the bottom and getting down deep enough. Changing up the retrieve, trying fast stuff, trying really slow stuff, trying to match their metabolism for that day. That's the ticket for catching muskie this time of year. You also have to be a little bit crazy, okay? So have a little bit of ADD and be able to sit out there and do the same thing for hours and focus. And if you do, eventually you're gonna get rewarded, all right? So spring creeks are still probably the best bet with these cold temps around. They just don't swing as much. You don't go quite so hot and quite so cold in the day. So getting out there and working some streamers has been pretty good. A lot of the vegetations in creeks like Mossy die back this time of year. So you've got open channel. You can work those stream beds without getting hung up every single time. When we get snow, the creek almost always gets dirtier. It was dirty last week. Dirtier water means heavier leaders, heavier tippet. You can really size up on your terminal tackle and not worry about breaking off so easily. Fishing a little bit bigger nymphs than we were fishing before because we've got a little bit more volume, a little bit more flow. All in all, things quiet down quite a bit this time of year. The people are going back to work and back to school. So if you have the ability to get out sometime in the next 5, 6, 7 days on one of these 48-degree overcast days, you can do quite well. Focus on those warmer hours later on in the afternoon. So that's about it for now. If anybody has any questions on places to go, got some New Year's resolutions, want to hit some blue lines, want to get up into places that you've never been before, want to head over into West Virginia and find some spots you've never been before, that's what we're here for. We're open 7 days a week. So email us, call us, or our favorite, stop by and see us, and we'll break out the DeLorme topo maps, and we'll find you some great places to get excited about heading into 2024. It's gonna be an awesome year, everybody. So if you have any needs, fly fishing, fly tying, come on by and we'll help you out. See y'all next week.